was too far from home.
Seeger with Piscopo at 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, 8:06 in New York. Jersey Joe on the radio. A lot to get into on AM 970, The Answer. Five Boroughs is here. Albert's here. Thank you very much, Debbie. We want to go to Mike Lindell. Mike is a dear, dear friend. He's the founder of the My Pillow Company, a great American, a great patriot, a strong man of faith, and always proud to bring Mike Lindell to the airwaves. Mike, welcome back to the show, man. I love you, brother. You look at you up in the morning on the radio already. What's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, Joe, I love that song. Bob Seger will be touring soon here. I'm gonna get you to one.
You know what? This is it. Before we get into business, Mike, and I love, first of all, I have to thank you for being so true. I mean, as a radio person now, Mike, you know, this journey has taken me, God's journey has taken me here on the radio. You are so dedicated, starting with Mr. Imus all those years ago, you know, and then you stick, and I know you're with Mike Gallagher, and then you're with Piscopo, and then you deal with all the radio personalities around the country. You know what, Mike? Thank you for that. You are so hip to how strong radio really is.
Well, you guys are awesome, and radio is that's our best venue. It's so awesome because you just get you become great friends with great people, Joe.
Yeah, and we appreciate it more than we could.
I'll tell you, and if you're ever selling products out there, if you're an entrepreneur, radio's the way to go. You get the host fit right and sleeping right, or whatever the product is, and you don't even have to do any work.
I know. Hey, and I love to, and we'll go to business. But if you're listening, I tell you, so Mike gets me to a Bob Seger concert. You know, I'm a Springsteen guy, and I always love Seger. He goes, "You want to go?" I go, "Yeah, we'll go." So I go there, and we met Alto Reed, Mike Lindell's personal friend, Alto Reed, the sax player with a bass saxophone at Madison Square Garden. It was great, and then we got to go backstage. I'm hanging with Seger, and I said, "Mike, did you ever meet him?" He goes, "No, I never met him. I just got you tickets."
I never got to get Joe sending me pictures. I'm going, "What? Come on now. I've been on 40 tours with him and never got to get a picture."
Listen, I'll go with you anytime, man. Oh, man. Hey, Mike, so what are you doing with President Trump right now, sir?
Well, I'm doing today. I'm speaking with Laura Trump here in Minneapolis. We're doing a little event, and then on Monday I'm going down to the rally in Houston. And there's a rally in Houston on Monday night. But the big thing I'm doing this weekend, Joe, I'm speaking to. I've come a long way to a shy kid that had to be on drugs to talk to people. Now I'm speaking at it's called Together 2018. It's a Pulse event, and 250,000 millennials.
Wow! At one time, one time in a stadium.
Yeah, at one time. It's at the Texas Speedway, and I just talked to them yesterday. They were a little worried it was a little cold, but I guess it's going to get a little warmer by the weekend here. But yeah, that's going to be amazing. It's a 2-day event, and I'm telling you, there's not a better way to reach our millennials, and we're going to be talking about Jesus, and I'm telling them my story. You know, I don't know if you know, Joe, but I used to be a crack cocaine addict.
I know, man. Your story, I can't get over that. So when you go and you speak and you say how God came to you and how you recovered, but you were, I mean, and if you're listening, you haven't heard the Mike Lindell story, you got to check out Mike's book, because it tells how he was in the depths of drug addiction in the inner cities, and to a point where it was so bad, and we've chatted about this on the air before, Mike, where the dealers intervened. They did an intervention. The drug dealers did an intervention. How bad is that, Mike Lindell? I mean, really? Huh?
And, you know, Joe, that's coming to fruition here, too. The dealers, when I came back upstairs that night in March of 2008, and they were waiting there, and the guy says, you know, I've been up for 14 days. He says, "Mike," he said, "you're going to bed. You've been telling us for years now that you're going to quit drugs, and this pillow's just a platform for God, and you're going to come back someday and help us all." Well, Joe, guess what? The next week, I'm going to be at the White House for an opiate event we're doing. Wow. And the president, the first lady, the Kellyanne, and I'm going to introduce my, there's a bunch of people there, I guess, for this, but I'm going to be starting my Lindell Recovery Network, where you have all these stories of hope to show addicts let's say you're a 22-year opiate addict. You put in your age, you put in your addiction, and all these stories just like you come down of hope. And then I have all the faith-based centers over here that are going to help you, and then I'm going to have paid mentors when you come out of that. So I'm really excited about that.
This is genius. You came up with this, yeah. And you could go online. Tell us if someone has a family member or indeed is in dire straits themselves.
If you go to my website, Michael J. Lindell, or just punch in my name, Mike Lindell. The Recovery Network's not up yet, but it's going to be up very soon. And we're going to have. Right now we're collecting all these stories of hope, but you can go to my website right now, michaeljlindell.com, and see a lot of the stuff I'm doing that's coming. And then, then when my book comes out, Joe, that'll say what are the odds from crack addict to CEO. That money, or most of the money there, that is going to go to run this recovery network. So it's going to be it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that in Washington like my ideas.
Well, did you pitch this to the president already, Mike?
I've talked to Kellyanne before. I've talked to Ben Carson and quite a bit before. I've talked to the vice president before. I have not talked directly to the president on this, but I'll get to say a few words to him about it on next week, and I'm excited.
He loves you, man. When he was in North Dakota, that is like legendary now, Mike. It's like legendary. Where he calls you and he goes, "Where's the My Pillow guy?" He goes, "Mike," and he says, and this is how I always appreciate how on top of it the president is marketing wise. He goes, "Will you do my marketing?" He said, because he sees how, and I know from talking with you as a friend, Mike Lindell, how you're incredible math wise, algorithms. You understand all of this. The president saw that. Did he ever pull you aside and go, "Mike, seriously, why don't you carry my marketing for the?"
He called me. He said, I go something about me being a great marketer, and I said, "No, you are, sir." I'll tell you what.
Well, one recognizes the other, But you have a very warm relationship with Donald J. Trump, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I just told him about that when he did that shout out the other day. We were having dinner a couple weeks ago, and I said, I got calls from the newspapers all over the country there, and a couple of ones that he doesn't like, and they said, "Yeah, Mike, the president did a shout out for you last night." And he goes, "You must have sold a lot of pills." I said, "It wasn't about the pillow." He said he liked the pillow, but he was talking about me being a great marketer, a great businessman. And I said, it raised my popularity to levels unheard of. And now I can go out and speak for Jesus in front of crowds of 50 and 100,000. And then the president said, what did he say then? And I said, he hung up on me.
And you do it on purpose, don't you? You mentioned.
It's the truth. I just tell you. I give these newspapers my direct number. I don't care. They can call me all they want. I believe in our president so much. He's so amazing. And Joe, I want to tell you this for anybody. I'm gonna put in an election plug here. Anybody out there, if you talk about algorithms, the voters that we need to get out there are all the ones that voted our president in, and tell your friends, family, everyone to get out the people that are going to support our president now, that we can and keep this amazing path we're on going. It's going to be so amazing, and but we've got to get out and get people in there that are going to support him and have his back, and we can't become complacent. People ask me all the time, Joe, what are we going to do? What can we do for our president? I always say, well, pray that he has wisdom, discernment, and protection. And now you can do something. I can't stress it enough. And it's that's why I went all in. I'm Joe. I didn't know what a politician was back when I met you. I didn't. People said the other day they introduced me on a radio show as a former Democrat and a founder of My Pillow. I said, I didn't find My Pillow, I invented it. And I said, I wasn't a former Democrat, I was a former crack addict.
God, you are the most honest man on the planet, Mike. That's what we love about you. Hey, tell us about, before we let you go, Mike, tell us about what you're doing with the millennials. That's huge. That is huge at that Pulse event.
I'll tell you what, if anybody out there, if you want to support one of the best organizations, it's called the Pulse, and it's right here in Minneapolis that we do huge events. And this event this weekend is called Together 2018. Wow. If you just put in my name and go to my website, you can see all the stuff, the one we did. but I'm going to be speaking there to 250,000 millennials and telling my story about my addiction, how God got me through, and telling Jesus. And I did the one here in Minneapolis, Joe, we did it. I spoke to 50,000, and 2 weeks later, I was at this Valley Fair up here with my granddaughter and niece and nephew, and all the millennials that came up there, we couldn't even go on rides. Right? They kept coming up and going, "Wow, it was so amazing, that event you had, and I had your story. It gave me hope and all these things." And finally, my granddaughter had to say, "He's my grandpa. We need to go on rides now."
You did.
I just know. The moral of the thing is, I know it works. It's so amazing, and there's so many speakers there this weekend. But I'm just, if anybody wants to support, me, Joe. I bet I go out there and do my due diligence are things that are really making an impact in our country, and those millennials that are out there to bring them. Our nation turned their back on God, and these guys. Now these millennials to be able to see some hope and these events were happening. That's a lot of people in one place, and plus it's going to be streamed too, I think, to millions. So. And when do you think
the addiction website will be up, Mike?
I'm hoping within a month.
Wow.
And
wow.
I'd like to say I'm gathering. If anybody's out there in the meantime, if you've got an addict, I can't tell you the best place to go. Salvation Army, Teen Challenge, your Union Gospels, your faith-based centers that have been doing this for 100 years, like Salvation Army, and they know people go, "What? They do addiction? They're the best. They are the best because once you're through, it's like being it's like an apprentice. You learn your skills in there too, and you come out, and then most of them are employed right away. It's so well, Joe, I have my own employees. I put through it, and I've the one thing I know is when this network comes out, you have to be an addict to help an addict in the past, and I really believe that the closest an addict can find to a match of someone that's made it through, it's more believable. It's just you trust that more,
Yeah, and it's an epidemic all across the United States. Mike, I love you for that. By the way, I gotta give a plug about the mattress topper, man. I don't know how you invented that. You got me that a couple years ago now. It's spectacular. And we'll let you go, Mike. But how do you come up with these things? Do you get a vision?
Well, you know what you do, Joe? It's common sense, like our president. You reverse engineer a product, and I reverse engineer what do we need in a topper, and I put in, my pillow support foam, and my patented foam for your support. I put in the phase change material for your transitional foam for all your pressure points. And then I got a patented cover that changes your temperature to get you into what's called Delta Sleep. Yeah. And I'll tell you, Joe, that's going as good as the My Pillow. I'm getting compliments from all over the country, and it's getting our nation sleeping well.
It is. It's so true. Mike, we love you, man. I'll see you real soon. God bless. Godspeed, Mike Lindell. And I can't wait to. Yeah, God bless you too, Mike. Thanks for all you're doing for everybody.